what do you do with the 221 million Ghana cedi hole? What do you do?
That's the question, right?
You can't just leave it. Something has to be done with the area. But what is clear is, and again, I think anybody who has listened to this panel on this particular topic would realize the consistency, will notice the consistency on this. This particular project has suffered from a lack of national consensus. Two, was basically built from a lack of process. It was being made up as they went along. And I, for the life of me, do not know which proper country you initiate a $400 million project and you make it up as you go along. Also struggled and suffered because those who started it under the guise of, oh, this is the president's dream. We can do whatever we want because it's the president's dream. And by virtue of the fact that it was the president's dream, the systems and institutions that are weak in this country allowed this to go. Because if you go and touch it, you are touching the president's dream. Everybody was afraid. Which is why the procurement breaches, the lack of frameworks and structure, if you recall, it took almost a year and a half for then later for us to be told that it had now been subsumed under the Ministry of Tourism, under some guys. We didn't know exactly what it was. How do you dream up a $400 million project and you don't even know under which sector it was going to go? This was all, if you wanted to do it, this is a 20-year dream for every country. It is not a 3-year dream, it's not a 4-year dream, particularly one as poor as this country. This is a 20-year dream that a country carries along because you would require different governments to buy into it. So this should never have been sold as a personal vision that later on metamorphosed into something else, because first we were told there was not going to be any state funds allocated. Then something happened, but we know that millions of state funds have been put in there. It's really disappointing. So if you ask me where we go from here, I'm saying we have a 221 million cedi pit in the heart of Accra that needs to be resurrected one way or the other. Somebody also has to pay for it. So and I'm with Sraj on this.
The foundation hasn't even been built yet.
They haven't done anything. You see?
Add all the demolitions that have been done.
I am very disappointed in the persons who started out as trustees, those who stayed on as trustees, those who resigned, whichever one, everybody who was involved at every stage of this needs to sit back, read what Sraj has said, and ask themselves, did I really do the best that I could as a Christian? Because that is what they are first. They should ask themselves that question. Whether they really, because I've seen some of the comments around the National Cathedral, even in the face of absolute public disdain for this particular cathedral, people who are on this board telling the public, we'll build it, as if it is their money. Meanwhile, you are traveling around on public funds. So, this Raj report is something, I hope all, how many pages?
160, is it 165?
165. They should sit down and read it by themselves and ask themselves, did we do well for the people of this country